What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is DJCS and welcome back to an all-new video here on my YouTube channel. In this video, although we don't really cover movie trailers on this channel anymore since I've dedicated it to video games, as I mentioned back when I did the Mortal Kombat trailer, every now and then a movie comes along that is video game themed. Such is the case as we have the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City movie trailer. This dropped yesterday. I was laying there on my couch watching stuff on my TV, watching YouTube, and I started to fall asleep. I clicked back out of the video I was watching. I figured, all right, I need to take a nap before my kids come home, and there it was. It had just been released. I watched it. I was excited, and we are going to do a breakdown of that here in this video. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and drop it a like. If you would like to watch all my playthroughs of Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and 8, I have them all here on my channel in playlists. A bit of backstory on me on Resident Evil. I haven't played 1 or Code Veronica or 0, unfortunately. I've played the remakes of 2 and 3. I played 4, which was the first ever Resident Evil game I played. I played 5. I skipped 6 for some reason. I, of course, played 7 and 8 now. So, I've read the first book and half of the second book that they released for the Resident Evil series. So I have some knowledge of things that go on in the Resident Evil nature. I've also reached out to my friend Shaolin, who's helped me with some of this stuff. So hopefully I can give you guys an in-depth, knowledgeable breakdown of this trailer. So let's go ahead and get started. So in the beginning of the trailer, we get a shot from the games. Straight out of the games, with Claire riding her motorcycle on her way to Raccoon City in her iconic red leather jacket. She's played by, I hope I'm saying this right, I hope I pronounce all these names right. If I mispronounce them, I apologize. But Kea Scodelario, who's been in things like Crawl, the Maze Runner movies, and the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. And we see that this doesn't take place in modern day, but on September 30th, 1998, which is canon. This movie is being made by Sony, Screen Gems, and Constantine Films. Screen Gems, of course, is a Sony company, so that makes sense. We then see Chris Redfield, played by Robbie Amell, Stephen Amell's brother. Stephen Amell is from the Arrow show and also currently on Heels. But Robbie Amell has been on things like The Duff, Netflix is The Babysitter, and CW's The Flash. And then we see who, in my opinion, should be Carlos, because he looks like him, albeit smaller and not as muscular. But he's played by Ivan Jogia. I'm not entirely sure. Again, I apologize for pronouncing that wrong. Though IMDb has him listed as Leon Kennedy. So in my opinion, this was kind of a mixed match casting choice, because he should totally be Carlos. Look at that hair. But he has been in things like Zombieland, Double Tap, Shaft, and now Apocalypse on Stars. Claire seems to have been digging into Umbrella for a while now and has a possible insider source from a character called Ben Bortolucci, played by Josh Krudas. But in the games, we see this character locked in a cell by Chief Irons, I believe it was, in Resident Evil 2.
Believe it, a real human.
How long have you been in here?
You been here long?
Long enough. Are we the last ones alive?
No, there's a few of us.
Huh. That's good news, I guess.
Yeah.
That's of course Irons sent you.
Irons? You mean Chief Irons? Is he still around?
Who cares? Hopefully he's somebody's dinner by now.
What do you mean by that?
He's the bastard that locked me in here.
I'm sure he had a good reason.
Kind of saved your life.
I was about to blow the whistle on his dirty ass. I'd have done the same thing to him, I guess.
He says that Umbrella had an incident and compares it to the events in Chernobyl, basically saying it's really big, really bad, and affected a lot of people. We, of course, know that this is the release of the T-Virus. There's a shot here that looks like it takes place in the children's nursery, I think it's called. My memory is kind of not great, but from Resident Evil 2, which would track. However, this could just be inside the RPD. We see a bunch of different shots, including some other characters like William Birkin, played by Neil McDonough, who's been in so many sci-fi pop culture shows like Captain America, The First Avenger, The Flash, American Horror Story, The 100, Altered Carbon, Sonic the Hedgehog, just to name a few. And then we see, who in my opinion should be Leon Kennedy, Tom Hopper, a.k.a. Dickon Tarley, but most notably Luther from Netflix's Umbrella Academy. IMDb has him listed as Albert Wesker though. So then we get a shot of Jill Valentine looking a little frazzled. She's played by Hannah John Kamen, who you might know from Ant-Man and the Wasp, where she played Ghost. She's also been in Ready Player One, Netflix's Black Mirror, and other sci-fi fantasy shows like Killjoys, Tomb Raider, Game of Thrones, and even Star Wars The Force Awakens. We see this weird, creepy-looking person wearing a mask, peeking out from behind it. A shot of the RPD from outside in the rain. Another shot of Leon. Some zombies. And then we see the truck driver, which of course is a scene straight from Resident Evil 2. Explosion happens, blowing out the windows in the RPD, and then we see Chief Brian Irons, played by Donald Logue, who has been in a lot of things like Blade, Sons of Anarchy, Vikings, but probably most of you recognize him from the TV show Gotham, where he played Detective Harvey Bullock. And we of course know from Resident Evil 2 that Chief Irons isn't a good guy. And while there may be some editing trickery here, it looks like he has some degs to deal with.
Get dogs. Do you like dogs?
Dags.
What?
Yeah, dogs.
Dogs. Do you like dogs?
Oh, dogs.
We get the release date, November 24th, just in time for Thanksgiving, and we're only halfway through the trailer. The music hits, it's an a cappella of 4 non-blonde song, What's Up? There's a shot here of some zombies outside of a gate. I wonder if this is the gate that Leon and Claire meet up after splitting their ways. It seems like Claire has gone out on her own against Chris's wishes, but at some point Chris gets the team of stars together to go out and help or save her, or these could be earlier shots from Resident Evil 1 when they go to the mansion, or possibly like a flashback or something. Claire and Leon gear up. We see our first look at Brad Vickers, played by none other than Nathan Dales, old legendary himself from Letterkenny.
Mint.
This looks like a shot from outside of the mansion, possibly. William Birkin is hard at work, most likely trying to find a cure for this child. This is not his daughter. IMDb simply has the character listed as Sickly Boy. We see a film labeled Ashford Twins as Claire is digging through some files here. This is a tease to Code Veronica and Alexia and Alfred Ashford, who were born with some DNA splicing. We see stars taking a tactical approach as they enter what's most likely the mansion. I wasn't sure if this was the mansion or like the library and RPD, but this is definitely the mansion. As we see in this shot here, the chandelier is a dead giveaway, most likely. What's throwing me off in this scene here, where we see the helicopter crash into what may be the mansion, because the helicopter crashes into RPD as well in Resident Evil 2. And I, unfortunately, as I mentioned, haven't played Resident Evil 1 yet, but I will be playing it later tonight over on my Twitch channel. So head over there, drop me a follow if you would like. Then we get more iconic shots, including what is most likely to be their first encounter with a zombie, with the slow turn reveal, and all hell breaks loose. Shooting zombies, someone's getting eaten, Itchy Tasty written in blood, which is a tease to the Keeper's Diary. There's a character, as I mentioned before, labeled Sickly Boy, but there's also a sickly woman who is listed on IMDb, but they seem to be an intricate part in this storyline as we see them multiple times throughout the trailer. I'm assuming this is a sickly woman who's attacking Claire here. However, these are not Annette and Shirley Birkin, as they are listed separately in the IMDb cast list. So originally I thought maybe they were kind of eliminating Annette and Shirley from the storyline, and they were going to have them be infected with the T-virus. Not entirely sure where they're going with all of that right now with these sickly people, but we will find out when the movie comes out. Zombies bust through the gate. Chris is reunited with Claire. Leon empties his clip into a zombie, though that could be some editing trickery. We see a good shot of a zombie dog, more action shots, and then we see a tyrant. Not sure which tyrant this is, if it's going to be an early version like the T001 or T002, or if they'll just make up their own. But even though they aren't yellow, it has eyes. Shoot the eyes. This may, however, be what they have William Birkin changed into, because it looks like in this shot he dies, but then his eyes open and they have changed. Claire and Leon look up and it's a freaking liquor. If you've seen my playthroughs, you know how I feel about liquors. Leon screams, "Run!" They did show us a lot in this trailer. However, there are some things they didn't show us, including Ada Wong, who is listed on IMDb's cast list, played by Lily Gao. So maybe she just has a small part. I'm not really sure. But they also didn't show us Mr. X, who, if they're going with Resident Evil 2, he's kind of a intricate part to Resident Evil 2, as he chases both Leon and Claire at multiple times throughout the game. Spoilers if you haven't played it. And there is no cast listing for Mr. X. However, he could be a CG character, so you don't necessarily need a cast listing for that. He doesn't talk or anything like that, so there's really no need for a cast listing. I am excited to see this, though. I don't know if I'll be heading out to see it Thanksgiving week, but I will definitely be checking it out. My first thoughts from the trailer, it seems a bit CW Sci-Fi Channel-ish, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's mostly because a lot of the actors have been on CW shows or, you know, like Netflix shows or something like that. If this was straight to Netflix, this would be awesome. But it is a Sony film, so who knows where it's going to end up on streaming services at some point. There's times where the makeup on the zombies, the makeup effects seem amazing, and then the CG moments on like the zombie dog and the tyrant aren't that great. So maybe the budget was spent more on makeup than it was on CG, which I'm fine with. Again, I don't mean that as an insult when I say CW or sci-fi-ish, because this looks good, and I'm really happy that they're rebooting this franchise essentially, and no more Alice. As much as I love Mila Jovovich, no more Alice, because that was really kind of killing the whole Resident Evil franchise and vibe and stuff, especially with the movies. But if you played Resident Evil 8, you might know that they're kind of heading in that direction. Spoilers, I guess. But I originally thought this was games 1, 2, and 3 because I thought that was Carlos. Also, 3 takes place just before 2 and maybe during 2. So I thought it would make sense to throw in the events of that game as well, especially since they already have Jill Valentine casted. So where they go from here, I don't know. I don't want to talk about the future of another movie, because a lot of directors do that. They make a movie planning on other movies, and I don't like it when they do that, as I mentioned for like Mortal Kombat. So hopefully they focused on this game and they did as much as they could with this game. As for how long it's going to be, I don't know. There's a lot to pack in from those 2 games if they're covering those 2 games. Even just Resident Evil 2 has a lot to pack into a movie. So I'm hoping for 2.5 hours, but most likely it'll probably be about 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's my guess. Definitely, I don't know if there was a rating on the trailer or not, but definitely should be a R rating, a hard R rating, with lots of blood and gore and violence, as zombie movies should be. I hope this movie is successful, because I want to see more like this. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Like I said, I will be playing Resident Evil 1 over on my Twitch channel later tonight. Go ahead and head over there, twitch.tv/DJ_CE_S. Drop me a follow if you would like to. If you are new here on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you'd like to check out all my other videos. If you'd like to be notified for my future videos as well that I'm going to be dropping. I'm still working on getting all my Resident Evil Village gameplay out, so that's something to look forward to if you're interested in Resident Evil. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and drop it a like. I would greatly appreciate that. With all that said and done, guys, my name is DJ CS. Have a good one, guys, and as always, don't forget to tip your DJ. Later, dudes.
Go tell Aunt Rhody that everybody